Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Bahrain Now. With me, your host, Bara Abdallah, as we showcase all latest talents, initiatives, and happenings in Bahrain. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. NGN Training Center is a center that helps fresh graduates and job seekers to prepare for the Bahraini Labour Market. Here in the studio, we have Mr. Yaqoob to talk to us more about the NGN Training Center, along with Zainab. Well, good evening.
Good evening, Bara. How are you?
Great, great. Apparently, right now we're into this new hype of jobs. A lot of things are going on here. But first of all, tell us more about the NGN Training Center.
Well, the NGN Training Center was a subset of our main technology company. So we have NGN International, which is an IT technology company and a cybersecurity company.
Wow.
And we noticed that whenever we do implement solutions to our customer, the need for the training arises. So we thought of why don't we, offer it as a total solution. The training and the technology part, they go hand in hand.
Right.
So when you implement some solutions, you definitely require, to bring up the skill set of the technology part. So that was the story, or how we started the program, the training center.
Amazing, amazing. So now technology, cybersecurity, and now with the blockchain coming along, with artificial intelligence, all that coming together,
Absolutely.
Of course, we do need a lot of training for that, definitely.
Absolutely.
So what kind of activities do we have right now at workshops at NGN Training Center?
We have the Employability Skills Program. It's supported by Temkeen for job seekers and for the fresh graduates. We teach them how to boost their self-esteem and how to boost their confidence. In our program, we teach them how to communicate with others, how to negotiate, how to solve problems during in the working field. So, and basically, and before all of that, we teach them how to apply for work, how to write their CVs, how to write the job application letter, and how to search for the right job for them.
Right, right. I mean, these are very, very important, right?
Very important.
Definitely. I mean, they graduate, like you said, fresh graduates, right? They get out of university, whether it's an IT program or computer engineering, and they get all crammed, all the information from C++, Java, Python, but then when it comes to the market, you need actual skills. So you saw the gap there. I mean, so what do you think? Like when they graduate and now you're out there, it's like, we're going to help you to get the right job. How do you do that?
Actually, Bara, let me just get a step back. I think what's important, what we notice, we actually also interview a lot of fresh graduates, for our vacancies whenever we have slots available. And what we noticed is that they don't have the skills, whether to sell themselves initially, in an interview.
Right.
And then later, even if they make it across an interview, the CV first. The first step is the CV, how it's written, how it's cluttered. Secondly is when you put them amongst teams, they have difficulty to work amongst teams. So
right.
the challenge is the communication part. The change is the compromise when you do, when you handle teams, and that's a major, I would say, a skill set issue. And this has been actually identified by the government at the government level. So they've identified. This is why they've invested in this program. This program is invested by honestly Temkeen, and the government has identified this, and I think this is an excellent move. And what we do is we try to bring up, obviously tell them these are the important skills and show them. And what's good about this program, what I love personally about this program, is we transfer knowledge to them. So not only we teach them, we take them through the steps of making, I would say, an impactful CV,
right,
or how to talk, how to present, how to work in teams, how to negotiate. Myself and the rest of my colleagues also, we do, I would say, a session with them where we talk about our experience. I personally talk about areas that I failed in my life,
right,
areas that I've succeeded, And I try to give as much as possible. Don't worry, guys. Nobody. Talking about myself or anybody else.
Right.
If I talk about myself, I never knew initially when I started how would I start, where would I end, what would I do.
Exactly.
So I tell them it's okay not to know.
Right.
It's okay.
I wish
it's
somebody
okay.
told me that earlier.
It's okay not to know.
It's okay to make mistakes.
It's okay to make
to
mistakes.
fail.
It's okay
fail
to
more
fail.
often, but fail
So,
fast.
Absolutely, fail fast. And then the more you get exposed to, I would say, challenges in your life, this builds you up. This builds a very strong platform where you can, from it, leapfrog. So the thing is, sometimes a lot of the, guys, graduates from university, they want to, speed, fast. They want to fast track and move on. But life has taught us, you have to sometimes go horizontally before you go vertically. So it's important you go in life horizontal and try to understand, and have exposure in different areas before you climb the corporate ladder. So we give them our experience. So we have empathy, we focus, we bring the best, I would say, trainers with beautiful platforms from them. Myself and my colleagues who are experienced in this field sit with them, have I would say transfer of knowledge sessions with them. That's what's different in our programs than what's available outside.
And it seems very genuine.
Absolutely.
I mean, so are you more focused into the technology and digital and IT field, or is just we're talking generally for everybody?
Well, actually, if you look at what we do, this is a program related to job seekers. However, if you are a job seeker, this is a track or a program we offer.
Okay.
If you are, let's say, an individual where you are working for an organization and you want to climb the corporate ladder, you want to build additional technology, technical know-how and knowledge, yes, we have programs like what you mentioned earlier, whether it's blockchain, whether it's cloud computing, whether it's AI, whether it's specific technologies like VMware and others. That's something we offer you. And obviously we offer a lot of corporate programs. We have corporate programs where culture is required, some messages within that, where we have some programs, for instance, like ITIL, Agile, Scrum. We have these kind of programs where specialized. So it's from an entry level, a job seeker, where we teach you the skill set and you grow. And if you are an employee and you want to wish to build up, add up more skills and grow up, again, there's a track for you. So we have, I would say, we have a portfolio that touches the needs of different areas, whether a startup or a guy who's ambitious and he wants to grow and that kind of stuff.
Amazing. So Zainab, tell us about the reception. So all the job seekers and their fresh graduates, as they enter your program, are they surprised? Like, oh my God, I didn't know that I need to do all of that. I thought just read the book and that's it, go to any company. But then all of a sudden, as they approach NGN, they get to see a whole new world.
Yes.
So how was the reception?
Yes, they surprised by how much they need to know and how much we offer them to improve their skills and how to face the world and how to enter the labor market smoothly.
That's right.
So yes, and they thought that it's going to be just lectures and they will listen and that's it.
Right.
But no, they have to do activities, they have to participate. We have virtual interviews. We bring people to interview them, and we also let our expertise to talk to them, to speak, to give them part of their knowledge.
Very interesting.
And I think another area is we purposely also selected where our offices. So we've focused also on the experience. So our offices are in World Trade Center, and that gives also the job seeker, as soon as he comes in, he looks at an environment. So he comes in, look at I would say goes through the same area that other employees of other banks and other prestigious organizations are within. So he goes through them and sees all of this. This is part of the experience that they have.
Right.
And similarly, we've purposely built our I would say office in a way it gives this positive passion and inspiring I would say attitude. So that is to enforce that. So when they come in, so from the time they come in the office up until where they they actually participate, that is part of the journey that they take with us.
Right. I mean, honestly, if I would do college again, I would definitely go, whether it's going to be in fintech, blockchain, or AI. As you know, the future is pretty much so much into the AI world. So I would definitely need guidance. So take me through like a very simple practice. Let's say right now I'm a fresh graduate. I know AI, I want to apply it, but I don't know what to do. So I approach NGN. What happens here? You're going to interview me? What's the first step?
Well, it depends which program you enroll in. So the program that the government has designed for job seekers is the skills part, which we spoke about as the employability skills. So these are the skills that, first of all, I would say enable you, to give you the boost, to enter an enterprise. So once you enter an enterprise, when you benefit from all the skills and you enter an enterprise and you specialize in an area, let's say you're lucky enough to go in an area where you have passion in, or you start with somewhere like with AI, whether it's cybersecurity and others. What we can help then at the next stage is offer specialized training where it has an entry level, and then as you go an advanced level till he takes the high-end certification. So he starts at an entry level, let's say AI or cybersecurity. So the guy is very passionate in cybersecurity and he wants to build for himself a career based on cybersecurity. So we offer him skills and courses, and then again the beauty about our differentiation in our course and our offering, our technical expertise, our senior I would say subject matter experts in cybersecurity, they transfer their knowledge to them. So it's the theory part and the experience of these guys. So we can I would say handhold, take you from an entry level course, and then all the way you take you up to a senior where you have a top high end, I would say, industry certification. And nowadays, as you mentioned, Bara, having a university degree is a prerequisite, or it's I would say a de facto. So on top of that, you have to build knowledge. I would say become a subject matter expert. So your particular industry become expert in that along with your degree. So this is the industry certification is very critical for business nowadays, and it gives you a much more favorable position when they supposedly you apply for a job, especially in that particular area. You have your degree, you have your industry certification along with it. Supposedly, as an example, AI, cybersecurity, or blockchain, or cloud computing, you put that along. That gives you a better preference, and differentiation amongst other CVs. So this guy, wow, okay, he's done all this.
Amazing. So you've been in the market for such a long time.
That's right.
You saw how things just been changing, and you just have to go with the change, and it's so radical, so fast. It's just unbelievable how things are changing at a fast pace. Now, from your perspective, with all the fresh graduates and the ones who graduated and the ones who are working right now, where's Bahrain standing right now? What's Bahrain's status when it comes, let's say, to digital skills? Whether it's programming, cybersecurity, AI, cloud computing, where do we stand right now? What do you think of the skill set we have here in Bahrain so far?
Well, honestly, my passion and my personal ambition is to see us as Bahrain, I would say, as a center of excellence for the knowledge or in this latest technologies. Why is that? And we are there. The government has taken the right steps and put the right funding infrastructure for training and thereafter. So my ambition and that is, and then that's what I tell most of the guys, and just not Bahrain. Yes, Bahrain is limited with geography and job. So the more you get this kind of expertise and you become knowledge, you can have job offerings with premium payment in other parts of the Gulf, not necessarily Bahrain. So Bahrain is in a way, I would say, on the right track when it comes to the government vision and plan and execution. And as soon as we build, we can, I think, easily become center of excellence. And with latest technologies coming up, we can really compete with advanced nations. So it's not to look at a specific segment. The technology is a segment that we can really compete.
I love this, especially we have AWS going on here in Bahrain and a lot of initiatives with the e-government and all that. We are pretty much ahead of a lot when it comes to technological advances. So what is the future for NGN Training Center?
Well, NGN Training Center, as I said, is part of NGN Group, which is the international the technology part. So they go hand in hand. The technology, where we see ourselves is we see ourselves in Bahrain, and then we are expanding more in GCC. And our passion is, to provide all our technologies, our experience, in wherever we touch across the GCC in certain segments. So as you can imagine, we focus on certain segments that we work with, and these are the segments that we want to grow and expand beyond the Bahrain territory. So we find I would say the road ahead of us challenging, but we can implement and execute our plan and vision in that direction.
I mean, just listening to your thoughts and talks and what's going on right now, I just feel more positive and confident that we are definitely heading to the right path.
Inshallah.
And we are in the right place right now, and we are in a good place actually at the same time, with all this going on. I mean, I've been reading a lot about the future of AI as, the future is pretty much with the superpowers, pretty much who has the strongest AI. So hearing what's happening right now, I know we are in good hands with NGN. So we really appreciate your work and everything.
Thank you.
So with that, any last words?
Well, if any last words that comes across my mind, honestly, is probably some advice to our job seekers. They need to be patient, and they need to work hard. I have this, I would say, thing that always I keep in my mind, which is, there's no aspiration without perspiration. So you have to sweat it. So you have to work hard and sweat, and grow from there, and be patient. But you have to invest in yourself. So when you start, especially young, and you have all the dreams and plans, you need to invest in yourself heavily.
Right.
That's a part. Maybe another advice for us and NGN and for Bahrain overall, I think we can compete, globally, not just Bahrain. In the past, the saying used to say, the big fish eats the slow, the big fish eats the small fish. Today, it's the opposite. It's the slow, it's the fast eats the slow. So we need to be faster, we need to be more agile in all aspects. So as far as a company, an enterprise, or a country as Bahrain. So we can compete with other countries. We just that we need to be faster in taking decisions, faster in coming up with initiatives and executing them and implementing, because by the time it takes us to I would say, dream about something and execute, that time itself, a lot of people would have, executed things, done and moved.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we need to be a lot agile. Bahrain needs to be a lot agile. We as enterprise need to be a lot of agile, faster in our approach. And I'm sure we can compete head to head with a lot of countries beyond our territory, not just our neighborhood.
I love the fact that how realistic you are with your view, as we definitely need to be way faster, less complicated.
Very true.
And with, I would say, of course, we need regulatory bodies and all that, but sometimes there's certain things we just need to go.
And I think, Barak, sorry.
Go ahead.
What had happened is, if you look at Bahrain today, with COVID I think enforced a lot of things onto us. If you notice that the transformation into technology and digital transformation happened due to COVID. So a lot of things that today became normal for us, acceptable, was unacceptable prior. I can give you an example. We had our license registration. In the past, license registration, especially for training center, we had different government departments. They had to physically come to our office and then inspect and then sign off. Today, what is acceptable is that even if you do a video and then they are online with you, they see, they can sign off. So why don't we keep these things, build upon them, rather than going back, to where prior to COVID. So I hope the COVID learning lessons are a platform where we launch, into the future rather than, retracting and going back. So a lot of things happen today. We do a lot of meetings online, yet we are more effective, more efficient. There's less transportation and less traffics and less people traveling across. Working from home has become acceptable today, where in the past this was unbelievable. So these things that we need to build upon and platform to launch from the future.
I mean, everything you said right now was definitely it. I've been talking about that a lot as well. Offset is that, yes, that's it. We learned a lot. And of course, with NGN Training Center, we're going to see way more stuff happening here.
Very true.
So, Mr. Yaqoob, Zainab, thank you so much for being with us here on Bahrain Now. This has been an eye-opener for a lot of us, and I can only imagine that our future is going to be even brighter, more advanced with NGN Training Center.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Definitely. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the future is brighter and more advanced with NGN Training Center. All that took place right here on Bahrain Now.